Welcome to But Frankly Pierce News. I'm Arthur Fairview. Well, here we are again. The story that won't die. Or as Ray Charles once sang, Georgia, hold my mind. Since our last update, several major corporations in Georgia have spoken out strongly against the new Jim Crow 2.0 voter restriction law. The latest corporate juggernaut to weigh in is Major League Baseball. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said, and I quote, "I have decided that the best way to demonstrate our values as a sport is by relocating this year's All-Star Game and MLB Draft. Major League Baseball fundamentally supports voting rights for all Americans and opposes restrictions to the ballot box." This move has been applauded by many, including President Joe Biden.
I think today's professional athletes are acting incredibly responsibly. I would strongly support them doing that. People look to them. They're leaders. Look at what's happened with the NBA as well. Look at what's happened across the board. The very people who are victimized the most are the people who are the leaders in these various sports. And it's just not right. This is Jim Crow on steroids, what they're doing in Georgia and 40 other states. What it's all about. Imagine passing a law saying you cannot provide water or food for someone standing in a line to vote? You can't do that? Come on. Or you're going to close a polling place at 5 o'clock when working people just get off? This is all about keeping working folks and ordinary folks that I grew up with from being able to vote.
Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms feels that this decision is likely the start of more actions taken against the state as a consequence of the Jim Crow 2.0 bill.
People, not just across this state, but across this country, are extremely disappointed with the actions that have been taken. And people are contemplating what those consequences will be. And moving the All-Star Game, or even the discussion about moving the All-Star Game, is just one consequence, but there are going to be so many more.
However, Georgia Governor Kemp and the GOP-led legislature have a different perspective. Let's do some quick fact-checking now on some of the governor's more recent statements.
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
Wait, before we begin, where did Governor Kemp get all these people to stand behind him? Who brought the kids? And are masks optional now? Please pay attention to the positioning of the few people of color amidst the sea of white. Oh, and David Cowan, your beard looks great.
Let me thank all of you for being with us today, and I really want to thank so many grassroots conservatives and great elected leaders who are here with us.
Who? Grassroots conservatives? Elected leaders? Looks like you have maybe 6 Republican legislators and a whole bunch of white folks there, maybe 6 people of colors specifically placed on the lower right so you can get the desired optics. Nice try, Gov.
Yesterday, Major League Baseball caved to fear and lies from liberal activists. They ignored the facts of our new election integrity law, and they ignored the consequences of their decision on our local community. In the middle of a pandemic, Major League Baseball put the wishes of Stacey Abrams and Joe Biden ahead of the economic well-being of hard-working Georgians who are counting on the All-Star Game for a paycheck.
Because one baseball game is all these people need to have a living wage for the entire year. And the All-Star Game happens in Georgia every year, right?
It's easier to vote in Georgia than it is in New York. It's because the Election Integrity Act expands access to the polls and ensures the integrity of the ballot box.
Sure, if having less time to request absentee ballots, canceling the mobile voting centers, create strict new ID requirements for absentee ballots, and making it illegal for election officials to mail out absentee ballot applications to all voters is your definition of expanding voter access, then well done.
The truth is that Joe Biden hasn't read the bill, and Stacey Abrams is raising millions off the fake outrage that she has created. Even the Washington Post has given President Biden 4 Pinocchios for his false attacks on our new law.
In all fairness, this relates to President Biden's comment on the polls closing at 5. The law used to say early voting shall be conducted during normal business hours. Experts said that generally means 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The new law makes it specific, beginning at 9 a.m. and ending at 5 p.m. So,
I want to be clear. I will not be backing down from this fight, and neither are the people who are here with me today. We will not be intimidated, and we will also not be silenced. Major League Baseball, Coca-Cola, and Delta may be scared of Stacey Abrams, Joe Biden, and the left, but I am not, and we are not.
really?
We can look at your state, your university, Ole Miss, which, last January, they were told by the NCAA and other states like them that they would no longer be able to host NCAA events as long as the Confederate banner was flying. By September, after 126 years in Mississippi, that banner came down, and now Mississippi is back in the fold to host NCAA events. And, baseball could look to the NBA, which took a similar stance on its All-Star game in North Carolina one year in 2017, when it pulled it from being there over the so-called bathroom bill. So these have been successful boycotts in the past. There's a long history of them, and I was not at all surprised that Major League Baseball took this bold step.
Good luck with that. As a recap, let's not forget these key points of the new law. It is illegal for people to give out food or water to people waiting in line to vote. The bill offers that poll workers can give out water to people. But who are we kidding? They barely have enough poll workers to keep polling places open. Do you really think they will have staff to hand out water? The Secretary of State is now removed as a voting member of the State Election Board. You remember Brad Raffensperger, the guy who wouldn't help Trump in that famous phone call? That now strips him of authority in the elections. The GOP-led legislature is empowered to suspend county election officials. So if they don't like the way one county voted, they can remove all the poll workers and replace them with their own people. The Republican-controlled legislature has more control over the State Election Board because, once again, the 2020 general and runoff elections taught the GOP a valuable lesson. If they want to stay in power, they need to rig the system.
Remember the first rule of politics. The ballots don't make the results. The counters make the results. The counters keep counting.
In other news, West Virginia lawmakers plan to rename highway for failed former President Donald Trump.
Really?
In a move
Wait, what?
that is already coming under scrutiny.
You got to be joking.
No, it's true. That's another story. This has been But Frankly Pierce News. Thanks for watching. I'm Arthur Fairview. And yes, I know it's only rock and roll, but I like it.